행복하다, 기쁘다, 반갑다, 즐겁다. They all mean to be happy, but they talk about different types of happy feeling. First of all, 행복하다 is a type of happiness that gives overall contentment and well-being in life. So you can say it's happiness in a broader, deeper, and more profound sense. So if you want to ask someone, are you happy? As in, are you a happy person in general? Are you happy about your life? Then you can ask 행복해요 in polite form or 행복해 in casual form. Are you happy? 기쁘다, on the other hand, is a less profound and temporary type of happiness that usually comes with a reason. That's why in phrases like happy to meet you or happy I could help, we use 기쁘다 for happy. For example, 만나서 기뻐요. Literally, 만나다, I meet you, so 기뻐요, I'm happy. So it's a Korean way of saying happy to meet you. And 도움이 돼서 기뻐요. 도움이 되다, to be help, to be of help, to be helpful. So happy, I'm happy I could help. So you can think of 기쁘다 almost like glad in English. And you've probably heard of 만나서 반가워요 for nice to meet you or happy to meet you as well. And 반가워요 is the conjugated form of 반갑다, which also means glad or happy. But this 반갑다 is mostly used for encounters with other people, either when you meet them for the first time or you meet them for the first time in a long time. So 만나서 기뻐요 and 만나서 반가워요 can be interchangeably used to mean nice to meet you. But if you say 도움이 돼서 반가워요, that would sound awkward because just like we learned, 반갑다 sounds most natural when used for encounters with people. And 도움이 되다 itself is not, encountering with people. It's not meeting someone for the first time or meeting them for the first time in a long time. So 도움이 돼서 반가워요 wouldn't make sense. Only 도움이 돼서 기뻐요. Then what if we use 행복하다 instead of 기뻐요? For example, if you say 만나서 행복해요 or 도움이 돼서 행복해요. First of all, 만나서 행복해요 would sound like meeting that person brought happiness into your life. So if you were meaning to just casually say nice to meet you, this could sound rather too serious. But if you're really meant to say that meeting somebody brought that profound sense of happiness into your life, you can say things like 제 아내를 만나서 행복해요. 제 아내, my wife, meet, so I'm happy. You met your wife and your wife brought that broad, deeper sense of happiness into her life, then you can say this. Or 제 남편을 만나서 행복해요. I met my husband and I'm happy. My husband made my life happier. You can say it like this. And likewise, 도움이 돼서 행복해요 would also sound a bit more serious than 도움이 돼서 기뻐요, because 도움이 돼서 행복해요 sounds like being helpful to you brought happiness in my life, which you wouldn't really say this if you were just casually trying to say, I'm happy I could help, right? 그 다음에, last but not least, 즐겁다 means to be enjoyable and also to be happy. So 즐겁다's primary usage is for describing a certain action as enjoyable and making you happy. For example, you can say 즐거운 쇼핑 for happy shopping or enjoyable shopping. You could also say things like 즐거운 여행, which means happy travel or enjoyable travel. So if you want to wish someone a happy shopping or a happy trip or even a happy day, you can say 즐거운 쇼핑 하세요. Literally, do an enjoyable shopping. So happy shopping. And for happy travel, you can say 즐거운 여행 하세요. Literally, do a happy travel, do an enjoyable travel. So happy travel. And if you want to say have a nice day, you can also use 즐거운. And in that case, you would say 즐거운 하루. 하루 means a day. So enjoyable day. 보내세요. 보내세요. 보내다 means to spend. So it literally means spend an enjoyable day. So although 하루 is not an action per se, we do many types of actions in a day, right? And this is kind of like wishing somebody to do many enjoyable things that would altogether make a happy day. And 즐겁다 can not only be used for actions, but it can also be used for one's emotion, happy emotion that you feel from doing a certain action. So you can say 여행하면서 while I was traveling, literally, while I was traveling, 즐거웠어요. I was happy. And by using 즐겁다, it implies that you found the travel enjoyable. So you really enjoyed traveling. You can also just say 여행이, the travel was 즐거웠어요. The travel was enjoyable. And these two would express the same thing. 여행하면서 즐거웠어요, or 여행 itself was 즐거웠어요. Because 즐겁다 can be used for your emotion, and it can also be used to describe an action, a certain action, as, being enjoyable. If you want to say you enjoy studying Korean, you can say, there are two ways you can say it using 즐겁다. 한국어를 공부하면. So when I study Korean, 한국어를 공부하면, you could say, oh, I feel happy. 즐거워요. And 즐거워요 implies that you enjoy studying Korean, right? So that's why it makes you happy. And another way to say this would be 한국어 공부가. This action itself, Korean study, is 즐거워요. It is enjoyable. I find it enjoyable. I enjoy it. Okay, so here's a quick summary. 행복하다 is for broader and profound general happiness. 기쁘다 is for lighter, temporary happiness, usually tied to a reason, like the English word glad. And 반갑다 is used for expressing joy during encounters with other people. 즐겁다 describes actions as enjoyable or expressing your joy in doing them. Okay, now let's do a quick exercise just for reviewing what we learned so far. So the first one, I was happy to meet my friend for the first time in a long time. So 친구를 오랜만에 만나서, 오랜만에 means for the first time in a long time. 만나서, I met my friend for the first time in a long time, so I was happy. So which happy would be the correct one in this case, guys? So happy in this context usually means lighter, temporary type of happiness that's tied to a reason, right? So you can say 기뻤어요. And 반가웠어요 would also work because it's in the context of encountering someone. And in case you really meant that profound, deeper sense of happiness by meeting your friend, then it's also okay to say 행복했어요 as well. Then how about 즐거웠어요? So what 즐겁다 implies is that you felt happy during a certain action, or you found that action enjoyable, right? So if you meant to say you enjoyed meeting your friend and spending time with her, you can say 즐거웠어요 as well. So for this one, all answers, all happy would work, and it would all depend on what you were trying to say. Moving on to the second one. I'm happy I passed the test. So 시험에 합격하다 means to pass the test. So passing a test is a result, not a process per se or your own action. So 즐거워요 wouldn't fit here. How about 행복해요, guys? If passing the test really brought that serious happiness, then go ahead, you can use it. How about 기뻐요? It would certainly work because it's that temporary happiness coming from a specific reason of passing a test. 그 다음에, how about 반가워요? 반가워요 wouldn't work because it's not in the context of encountering someone. How about the next one? I enjoy swimming, as in swimming is enjoyable. There's only one word that works here, which is 즐거워요, because none of the other words are used for describing an action as enjoyable. It can only mean emotions. And how about the last one? Have a happy birthday. So we learned that 즐겁다 can be used for describing a happy day, enjoyable day. So 즐거운 생일, happy birthday would definitely work. And 행복한 생일 also works because 행복하다 can also be used for like a day, a happy day. So 행복한 생일 보내세요 also works. It's commonly used. 기쁜 생일, on the other hand, isn't very commonly used. Like 기쁘다 isn't very commonly used for describing a day. But there are people that say this sometimes, like 기쁜 하루, 기쁜 생일. Although it's not as common as the other two, 행복한 즐거운 생일. So I will just leave it with a rectangle. And how about 반가운 생일? It certainly doesn't work unless you mean a birthday full of like unexpected and surprising encounters with other people. But usually when we wish someone a happy birthday, we don't really go that specific, right? So 반가운 생일 보내세요 sounds rather awkward, so we'll leave it out. Okay, so that was it for this lesson. I hope you keep it up, guys, and I'll see you in the next class. 안녕!